A reading from the second letter of Paul to Timothy. Beloved, I am already being poured out like a libation, and the time of my departure is at hand. I have competed well. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. From now on, the crown of righteousness awaits me, which the Lord, the just judge, will award to me on that day, and not only to me, but to all who have longed for his appearance. At my first defense, no one appeared on my behalf, but everyone deserted me. May it not be held against them. But the Lord stood by me and gave me strength, so that through me the proclamation might be completed, and all the Gentiles might hear it. And I was rescued from the lion's mouth. The Lord will rescue me from every evil threat, and will bring me safe to his heavenly kingdom. To him be glory forever and ever. Amen. The word of the Lord.
Our second reading is taken from the second letter of Paul to Timothy. We have been reflecting on how God's power is at work in us when we are lowly and empty. In the first reading from Sirach, we see that God's power, God's might, God's powerful response to prayer is manifested when it is the poor, the orphans, the widows, and the lowly people, the sinners, those who do not deserve God, when they are the ones who turn to God, and when they try to serve God. It is in these lowly and empty people, those who have nothing to boast of, that is where the power of God will be manifested, not only to them, but to the nations. In the second reading, St. Paul has reached the end of his life and of his mission. He tells us through Timothy that the time of his dissolution is at hand. Yes, this is a low moment in the sense that, wow, he's dying. And all the threats to his life were leading up to his persecution, to his death. And this is not just one single moment. He recounts to Timothy how even during his trial, he was left alone. Everyone deserted him. Now, what a low moment. One low moment after another. But in this low moment, St. Paul tells Timothy, the Lord is my strength. The Lord has rescued me. And the Lord will accompany me in my continuing journey. And it's not anymore the journey to other lands, to other nations, because he's now in prison and will eventually die. But in his journey to God's eternal kingdom. And then the famous lines. All through these lowly moments, St. Paul was able to fight the good fight, to run the race, and to keep the faith. How could it be possible that at your lowest moment, you could be energetic, you could be strong, you could be zealous? St. Paul tells us, it is not me. It is in my weakness that the power and the strength of God is at work. This is not just a dictum for St. Paul. He experienced it. And no regrets. In fact, he seems to be rejoicing. He is singing his own Magnificat. He is singing the praises of God, who can show His power and might even when the missionary, the bearer of His word, is at a very low point in his life and in his work. So, my dear brothers and sisters, the lesson is the same. Whether in prayer or in mission, the power of God is manifested in our emptiness.